I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Ian of Austin, and I want to help you with home prices in Leander, Texas. I want you to know the true prices, not just what you hear on the internet or what a neighbor may have told you that they sold a house for. That's the kind of stuff that gets people into trouble when they're looking to buy a new home in the Austin area or anywhere else, right? So I'm a realtor in the area. I'm not part-time. I am a full-time realtor that sees the market day in and day out. And so I want to kind of show you how I evaluate things when I'm looking at houses in different areas. And I'll go
deep enough to where hopefully it helps you learn something important.
but not so deep where it gets too boring. So keep me honest here. And if you learn something, type it in the comments so that I know that I'm actually providing value. So I also hit elite agent with my brokerage, which means that I obviously value education for both myself and my clients. I want to make sure that I'm helping you make informed and educated decisions for yourself, for your family, and it also means that I sold a bunch of houses in the last year or so. So let's enough rambling. Let's get straight into the video. So I am in the MLS, which is what us realtors use to find accurate information. It stands for the multiple listing service, which is where brokers and agents share information amongst each other. So first thing I want to point out is that I'm looking at 7-day from early October. What is today? Monday. We're looking at new listings, 175 on the market this week, 95 price decreases. This is important. So if you're looking to get into the Leander area right now, Cedar Park, Leander, any of those areas, there are 95 price decreases on the market as a whole. We're going to drill down and see what it looks like in actual Leander, okay? Back on market 22, that means it's fallen out. Someone put in a contract, and then within the option period or beyond, they said, you know what, we can't do it for whatever reason, we're out. And so that means this house is back on the market. That doesn't necessarily mean anything's wrong with it. And then we've even had some price increases. Most of the time, price increases are from builders that are like, hey, we've got this. And then they say, you know what, we're seeing a lot of demand. Let's go ahead and increase the price. And it could be sitting on the market for 4, 5, 6 months with a builder because it's all under construction and they just want leads. They just want leads. And so they'll call you and let you know, hey, we're getting close to ready. Why don't you call us and get on our list? So just keep that in mind when you're looking at these. Okay, so here's how I'm going to come up with my criteria. I'm going to search residential. I'm going to pull up single family because that's what most people are looking for when they're looking at this. We're looking at, let's say, 3+ bedrooms, 3+, 2+ total baths, right? A lot of people want an office today, but you'll see in some of these floor plans, if they're over, let's say 2,000 square feet and they're 3 bedrooms, you'll still end up with an office space. I can put that in as well, but for the purpose of the video, I want to make sure that we're looking at kind of averages over time, right? I'm not going to touch the price. Okay, I'm going to leave the price where it is. Map search, that's going to be important, but I'm going to just put in city. How does that sound? So let's just start with city. And I said we're doing Leander, right? So let's do Leander. Ooh, Leander. I got to learn to type with one hand. I guess I'm still using my other. So I'm just going to do Leander. So if you look down at the bottom, we have 227 active houses right now. So what I'm going to do is, you see how it says active? I'm also going to throw in closed, pending, and under contract. And then in closed, I'm going to change the number to 30 days. And so what we'll be able to see is what prices are actually selling at within the last 30 days, but also what's active on the market and still pending. So when you're running comps and you're looking at the true prices, you don't want to include active, under contract, or pending. You only want to choose what's closed. So let's go ahead and hit results. Oh my gosh, look at that, 859 matches. That's crazy. Leander's blowing up, huh? None of this crash business. I'm not hearing any of that. All right, so the first thing we want to look at is I want to talk about the columns. I've done this in my Pflugerville True Prices video. That was really helpful for people. So just real quick, CLN stands for Cedar Park, Leander. So that's the area. You've got the address. Number of bedrooms, so follow my mouse here. Number of bedrooms is 3, full baths, half baths, garage, so there's 2, 1 level, so it's a single story or a 2-story, right? What year it was built, acres, square foot. So like, here's a great example. The square foot on this one is 1,000, which means it was listed at $319 a square foot, and the price means it's $340,000. Now, this stands for closed price per square foot and closed price. We don't have that data because these haven't closed. So when an appraiser is looking at your property, they're looking at closed prices. They're not looking at what's active on the market. I mean, that's a helpful interpretation, especially if you know it's going to close soon or before your offer. But realistically, you want to focus on what's closed so you can see what makes it a good offer if you're submitting an offer. Days on market. Now, that's another really important indicator, especially when I'm sitting with people for listings and they want to say, well, how much should I sell my house for? And I say, well, how long do you want it to sit? That's the question, right? And you can determine that by seeing what has closed and how long they've sat on the market. And we can talk about cumulative days later. That's not really relevant for this conversation. So, first things first, I'm looking at all these active houses. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is sort it by probably um, status, right? I want to see what's closed. So I can start that way. So I'm looking at these and let's just go ahead and dive right into one of these. So this closed on 9/24. That's only a few days ago. It only lasted on the market 5 days. That's what I want to see. So let's see the 605 Mill Creek. It closed at, it was listed at 280 and it closed at 300. Okay, so I have to be careful with this information because this is we are in a non-disclosure state, which means you don't have to tell anybody what you purchased on this what you paid for this house. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Loan amounts can be public information, but not the sales price. So someone could have paid X amount in cash, closed this, and you wouldn't know the difference, right? So just be careful when you're looking at these closed prices, and that goes back to what style of transaction this is. So, and Zillow. Okay, so we're looking at Mill Creek. So it was listed at 280, and then I'm looking down at the close price for 300,000. So it closed at 300,000. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to say this is a non-disclosure state. It is not easy or should not be easy for you to find out what someone else paid for a house. Maybe what they got a loan for if they're paying for a loan. But really, this is an agreement between realtors and brokers to say, hey, we need to tell you what this person paid for this house so that we understand what the prices are doing and what the market's doing. It's not public information, not like California, or I think New York is like that too, or even Illinois. Not the same. We don't want to share your data. We want you to keep your taxes low. We want you to have an opportunity to, this is private information. So you're not out there sharing to everybody what your sales price is or what you paid for the house. Okay, so let's look at this. And I just want to evaluate super quick. So I'm going through. It looks like it just needs some light updates. Paint, that seashell, that stuff, that's got to go. I mean, it's dated. The windows look old, right? You've got brass fixtures and original fans probably. Look at all that. Okay, so no covered patio on the back. And this is already closed. So somebody already paid this, but it's important for you to see what someone just paid for this house. It's green and blue and every other color under the sun. So this is almost 1,300 square foot, built in 1996. A decent size yard with just under a quarter acre. I mean, I'm being creative here. No contingency, or sorry, I meant to say no pool. And okay, so I think the question would be, what do you think? What do you think as far as the price of this home versus what it was listed at versus what someone actually closed at? So they made is relative because you only make it if you've paid off all the home, right? Paid off all your loan responsibility. So 280,000 up to 300,000. So this went 20,000 over asking, and then in the description it looked like there were multiple offers. 20,000 over asking for a house so this would be an incredible investment property because it's a smaller square footage. And if in the neighborhood everything else is, let's say, 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, and you have one that's like this, when people are renting, they don't know. They just want a house to rent, and they like the neighborhood. So they're going to pay close to as much as the rent for a larger house. So you're actually making more money price per square foot. So this is an incredible, incredible rental. All right, so I'm going to go back to some of these results. Let's see what else I get. So agent single line. Remember, we're focusing on Leander here. Okay. All right, I'm opening up a map so we can see where some of these results are. So let me zoom in so we can see these on the map. I kind of want to stay in this area because this is the North Line and the Leander Springs area. You know, I just did a video on one of those. So these are just west. Everywhere right now within 30 minutes of downtown, even 45 minutes of downtown, you're doing pretty well if you can get something in some of these price points. Now, if you're starting to pay, 2 million, 3 million out in Leander, I hope you're not trying to sell it tomorrow, right? Okay, let's look. So 350,000, that's pending. So the colors on this map are what status they are. So this is active. So you have a 386,000, 2 beds, 2 bath. But right next to it, we have 438 4 beds, 3 baths. So if I click on that, let's look at it. So this Brentwood house, it is listed at 438,900, closed at 509. Okay. Now, this is really important because, again, we're talking about what are the true prices. So just because you see a list price of 438, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to pay. And people can't say, oh, the houses in Austin, people aren't going to pay over asking because it's not June anymore, or it's not March anymore. That's not the case. If somebody wants something and it's a good value to them, that is what dictates what people are willing to pay for these properties. Look at that beautiful tree in the front. Look how green and lush the grass is. Hope it's not painted. I think I told you on a previous video that you can hire a service to come paint your grass just for a listing photo. I'm not saying that's the case, but also it's a 4-bed, 3 bath, well landscaped. It's a corner lot. There's carpet in the living room, but that doesn't cost a lot in the grand scheme of things. If you're going to buy this house, and especially if you're going to pay 70,000 over or whatever that was asking price, then you're going to probably replace the floors and repaint everything anyway, probably all the fixtures as well. All right. That's not, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. You need new countertops. You want to probably update the cabinets, add some hardware, appliances. I don't even know if the fridge or the washer and dryer came with. That's important in Texas to know, to ask if those items convey. This light at the top, that's original and needs to go. The fluorescent light, but yeah, is that carpet or is that a rug? Maybe it's just a rug. Nah, no, that's carpet. Gross. The tile, you can tell when it's builder tile because it's the same tile that is on the floor oftentimes. So you can see that over, or the fireplace, sorry. And yeah, you have some colors. Nothing wrong with that. That's all cosmetic stuff. I'm not worried about cosmetics. It's when you start having to add, the tile takes a lot to take away to demo it. So tile is really expensive to replace because you not only have to pay for the price per square foot to add it in, but also to take it out. And so that starts to hit people's budget pretty hard. But so let's talk about what they paid for this house. If they paid 509, I think it was, in the neighborhood with the size of the home and the potential and the size of the lot, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying they wanted this. Maybe they wanted to live near somebody or near a certain school district. Then it's a solid house that I feel will appreciate. Now, again, will they be able to sell it tomorrow for the same amount? No, that's not why you buy that. That's not why you pay over for a house. You pay over because you know that this is going to be an investment and you're going to end up holding on to it for 5 to 7 years or longer. And so at that point, anywhere near, I feel like, this is all subjective, but I feel like anywhere near some of these live, work, play areas like Leander Springs or Northline in Leander and Cedar Park, that also have a highly rated school district and not ridiculous taxes, we didn't even look at the tax rate yet, are still going to continue to appreciate substantially year over year. And there might be a small dip, but it's going to come back up because I cannot see a logical reason why this area will start to falter long term. I might see some small dips here and there or plateaus, but not substantial dips. Even if it drops 20%, that's not bad. Whoever the seller was, they made out like bandits, right? I don't even know how long they've owned this house. So let's see, 3 fans on the patio, huge back patio, lots of shade in the back. Very, very good purchase overall. So let's look at the tax rate because I think that's important, and the size. So almost a quarter acre, again, built in 2001, almost 2,700 square feet. Tax rate 2.53. Okay, so if you are looking at a place in Leander If it's a new build, you'll probably have a higher tax rate, closer to 3%. If it's a resale home, 2.5 is pretty solid. If you can get lower than that, you're winning. If you go up even a little bit, 2.6, 2.7, you're still doing all right. But if you're buying a resale and the tax rate is like 3.1, you're doing it wrong. That's my opinion. Unless it's just an incredible deal for sales price, or you only plan to keep it for a couple years. My opinion. So HOA, $73 a quarter. It's $30 a month. That's great. Great. What else do you have? And then the school. So I have a lot of people that get really excited when you see Rouse High School or the Knox Middle School. So I think that's good. This is very solid purchase for whoever was the lucky owner. So let's see. Let's go back and see if we can find a few more. I'm just going to do two more. Okay. Agent single line. And I didn't look at the flood map or anything like that. I know that with the topography of this area, I'm going to say I know I'm going to say with a grain of salt. You still want to research this. You still want to check in with your insurance provider. But I know that, or I don't worry as much about any of these areas being in a floodplain. If you were in Pflugerville or Southeast Austin, absolutely check to make sure it's in a floodplain. Okay, so I want to look at this one. It has been on the market 69 days. I'm not even going to click on it, but it was listed at 492 and sold for 474. So that's substantially under. Okay. Listed at 187 a square foot, 4-bed, 3-bath. Why? Built in 2016. Why? So this first makes me think that it was overpriced when it was listed for the area and or for the time. So let's open it up and take a look. Everything is done. Carpet in the living room. No, barely a covered patio. Beautiful features. It looks like it has a lot of, I'll call them upgrades. Maybe even a model home with this tile design on the walls. More carpet in that room in the office. Is that it? Is that it for pictures? No. Okay, 40 pictures. There's another slab here. They stole a shed. It's probably an issue with the, and it backs. Okay, so it backs up to something. That looks like an amenities center. So I'm going to guess there's a street back here. And that could, and even with the pictures, it's almost like they tried to hide it in some of these pictures, which, teach their own. Okay, no, they brought it up here. Okay, all right, looks good. Upstairs. Okay, so upstairs, I couldn't tell if the primary bedroom was down, and that's in the MLS, so we'll look at that. And there's a lot of carpet. What else? Okay. And I'm trying not to take too much time because I know you're just sitting here watching me scroll through. That's nice. They did an okay job. I mean, it looks like, my mom would love this, but somebody, there's a bench on the top of the tub. What are you doing? Just resting your feet in here? I don't get it. I don't get that. Bar stools. Okay. Nobody's going to sit and stare at the fridge or the side of someone else's house. So that's not going to happen. All right. So let's look. Same schools, Rouse, Knox Wiley. So I can see a draw there. Oak Creek. Let's see. Hold on. Let's go. 2.5 tax rate, 58 monthly. So that's a little bit higher than we were just looking at. Let's see. The yard size, 2,500 square foot for a 4-bedroom. That's reasonable. That means your bedroom sizes are okay. Aha. You see this? Okay. So, okay. And this. So a couple things. It was purchased by Open Door. So a seller sold it to Open Door, and Open Door is like, we're going to resell it and make some money. And they don't care if it sits. So they're going to price it higher. And that's okay. They've got tons of money, so they can do that. But they're also only offering the buyer's agent, so a realtor like myself, commission is not fixed. That's against the rules of engage. That's against all the rules. However, this is less than what I am typically seeing in this market in Texas. And so they're basically, lowering the price that they're offering to the buyer agent. And, buyer agents shouldn't, but they're going to look at it, right? They're going to be like, what's going on? Like, why are they trying not to pay the agent? Does that mean they're also going to treat the client the same way? Does that mean there's something happening and they're not going to be able to fix it? Like the carpet, right? It doesn't cost a lot in the grand scheme of things to replace the flooring, but they didn't. So I can see why it's been sitting for a little while. So it's overpriced. They didn't make the updates, and they're not wanting to pay the the broker or buyer agent on the other side who's bringing the clients. So all those are, they're stacked against it. Okay. Um, what do we have next? So let me choose on the map this time. So I'm going to close that out. So this is Crystal Falls and Ronald Reagan. This is a really solid Leander Springs area. So let's look. So that's 510, 490, 559. Okay. 615. Okay, this one excites me. 615. It looks like the backyard. It looks like, oh no, 681, even better. So cul-de-sac right here, park, and Leander Springs is going to be built right here. So let's look. 681. I'm four bed, four bath. This one excites me. Almost 4,000 square foot, 3,750 square feet. Hazelwood. I like that subdivision. It's really pretty when you drive in. And there is no information on the size of the lot. What? Price per square foot, 172. That's pretty good. Rouse, Knox Wiley again. We're at listed at 645, closed at 681. Okay. All right. Tax rate, 2.54. Good. $500 annually. Not ridiculous. So your estimated taxes, it's not your actual tax because these people have both disability and homestead. So you can't count what your tax is going to be, especially if you're an investor. You don't get to put a homestead on there. I don't know if you knew that. All right, let's take a look at some of these pictures real quick. It has a really nice curb appeal, plus minus the tree in the dead center. It depends on what you like. And those bushes are they're overgrown. Those bushes need to be. Are those real windows, or are they just those little things you buy on Amazon that you can stick on, those magnets? I did that. Shh, don't tell anybody. All right. And then the half brick stucco thing, that's kind of a personal preference. I like that there's a bell tower in the front. It's not really a bell tower, but you know what I mean. The transom windows, new flooring. It looks like actual wood flooring. Office just off to the right in the front, because you don't necessarily. A lot of parents that I talk to don't want a bedroom in the front, because that's just weird, right? You don't want somebody walking up to your house, looking over, and like there's your toddler sitting there. So it makes sense for it to be an office. It seems a little like a unique shape. It's almost like it's an office that's supposed to have a TV here, or maybe that's your desk. I don't know. And then what do you do with this? Do you put a vacuum? Like what do you put there? For real? What a weird shape. But at least it's French doors, glass, all that. So that's a powder bath downstairs, and so there's an upstairs, and then it looks like this is the primary bedroom. Usually they hide that on the side across from the stairs because it kind of blocks your view. Just the layout seems to work that way often. Carpet up the stairs. Okay. All right. That backsplash in the kitchen. Does that match? I mean, I know I'm a guy, and I know that women can't be colorblind or something like that. But anyway, that's interesting to me. I don't know if I like it. Little wine rack. The cabinetry is clean. It is very clean. You do have granite countertops. Did they take the oven? What? You're not. Oh no. So there's. Oh, you know what this was? I bet this was a slot for a wine fridge, or is it the dishwasher? It looks like the dishwasher. Who takes the dishwasher and the wine? I get the wine fridge. Oh no, dishwasher's there. Okay. All right. I'm spending way too much time on this, but I'm so curious what they just took out of here. Anyway, okay. Keep going. So this is the primary with a little seating area and a door off to the back patio, probably. Lots of windows, lots of light. Looks good. Quick, let's look at this. Okay. This closet's phenomenal. Upstairs, they've got the iron. It looks great. Huge loft area. Okay. All right. I think I've seen enough of the house. Let me check the back. That's what I wanted to see. And a large covered with sunshades, mostly xeriscaped. So there's just a little bit of yard for your pets to do their business. The kids, it's not a lot of yard to work with. So I understand that. This is not their pool. You see this picture a lot in the MLS. You see a picture of a pool and you're like, what is that? That's the amenity center pool. So, and look at this block for between the lake. So it's not like so this is important too. There won't be anything. I've got to be careful when I say this, but it is a low probability that some high rises or anything big are going to come right here, butt up against this. However, that could happen because you know that this project is being developed over here. And then the second thing is you can't just walk there, at least seemingly today, right? So if you think you're going to walk from the amenity center over to the beach that they're building, well, that might not happen. There's a cul-de-sac lot. That's what it looks like today, huh? All right. Okay, so what else do we need to evaluate about this house? I don't think there's anything that's worth really talking about. Oh, it says no appraisal, it performed. New roof prior to closing. Okay, so 645 to 681. So 3 of the 4, was it 4 or 5? Anyway, were listed higher than the were sold higher than the listed price. So I find that interesting. I find especially that it's still happening even after the crazy spring that we had, and we're heading into fall. So when you ask yourself, are we still gonna, have to pay a little bit more? Well, in Leander, it seems like that's the case in many cases. Let me know what you think. Happy to be of service. Have a good one.